Do you feel stuck? Do you feel like negative or unwanted circumstances just keep repeating themselves? Or maybe like you make progress and then all of a sudden it's like that progress seems to get undone and you wonder what you're doing wrong? That's what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Hey guys, my name is Alexandra Rose. I talk about manifestation and mindset and just working on yourself to create a better life. So I'm going to jump right into it and hopefully keep this one relatively short. So when you see the old story, and by old story I mean the things you no longer want, what you're trying to change, right? That old narrative, the old loops, the old cycles, the old patterns, the old circumstances. I think I'm repeating myself now. When you see those things coming up again and again in your life, it can feel very frustrating, wondering, I'm putting all this work in, what's going on, what's going wrong, are things going wrong? What can I do to fix this and just be done with this, right? So I'm going to give you a few different ways that you can rectify these circumstances that you are experiencing. And I'm also going to give you a few different explanations for why they might be happening. Some of them are actually quite positive. So getting right into it, this is your story. Your entire life is your story. I know that it can feel maybe like things are really out of our control at times, but if you're studying manifestation, you're watching this video, I know that you have started to change that mindset and you are believing to some extent more and more in your ability to have some sort of control over the experiences you're having in your life. So if it's your story and you're writing it, you have ideas in mind for what you would like your new story to be like, right? You want to improve certain areas. You no longer want your job to be like this. You no longer want your girlfriend to, behave a certain way, or you want a girlfriend, or you want to go on vacation, or you want to make more money, or you want to make less money. I don't know. There's something that you want, right? There are things that you want. We all want things in life. That's normal. Okay. So it is okay for you to be in the story that you no longer want. The process of manifestation, in a very, very simple term, or in a very simple way that I'm going to put it for this video, is that we are uncomfortable, we want something, we don't have it, we want to figure out how to get it. And so we start studying manifestation, or we've learned some techniques, we've watched videos, we've studied it to some extent, and now we're implementing these things trying to get new results, right? So the way to change your story is not to snap your fingers or wave a magic wand and it's suddenly different. The way to change your story is to rewrite it. And oftentimes the most powerful moments for that change to occur is when you are repeating the old story, the unwanted things, when you are in the middle of those uncomfortable situations, when that same crap is happening to you and you're like, oh, why is this happening to me again? And you catch yourself starting to say things like, just nobody ever understands me, or if this coworker is just so miserable and they're just always, out to get me, or, my partner never listens to me. You start repeating that script to yourself, and change comes when you realize that is the time for you to make change. The time to make change is not necessarily when nothing's happening and you're all alone in your bedroom and none of these things are bothering you at all and you say your affirmations in the mirror and magically it's all supposed to be gone the next day. Those times are important too. All of that is important. But what I have observed in my experience is that the most important time for myself is when I'm in that uncomfortable situation again. Maybe it's someone in your friendship group that you feel like just like really doesn't like you and is always out to get you, and you feel like you're having a negative interaction with them, and you realize that you can choose to assume the best, or you can choose to just let it go and not fixate on it and start repeating to yourself, no, I know what they just said, but it must have just been an accident. They must have meant it differently. Of course they like me. Of course they have no reason to dislike me. Things like this. You're feeling underappreciated with your partner, and they're sitting in front of you watching TV, and you're trying to get the dishes done and the trash needs to be taken out, and you're just like, oh my God, like they just never, like why is it's always me, right? They're just always sitting on the couch. Listen to the story that you're telling yourself. That is what is going to manifest. That's going to be a reality. If you say, they never help me, all they do is sit on the couch, I have to do all this stuff by myself, there you go. Sure. That's your story. You have it. And when you choose in the moment to just attempt to find a way to change it, doesn't have to be successful right away. It might take work. It might take progress. It's going to take whatever is best for your personal progression to change those things. But when you start to become aware of, oh, I really don't like that, my boss talks to me that way, or, I don't like it when my friends, do this, whatever the thing is that you don't like, running out of examples. When that comes up again, you start to say, oh, wait a minute. I keep affirming this story, and this is the thing that I don't want. I should probably stop repeating it. You don't even have to immediately make a new story. Just catching yourself and realizing that you're repeating your old story when you're affirming it, being exasperated, I get those two switched up, saying, ugh, so-and-so always cancels on me, or they always hang out, together without me, or like, this person just doesn't like spending time with me anymore, they never talk to me. When you start saying those things and then you say, wait a minute, I don't like that, so why am I still telling myself that? And even just taking a break from saying those things, even if you can't think of a new story yet. But what I personally like to do is I like to identify it. I keep a notepad on my phone of things that I would like to change, like affirmation-wise. You might want to physically keep a notebook as well. Whatever is best for you. What's fun for me sometimes is to write things down on sticky notes and post them, like where I'll see it while I'm brushing my teeth in the morning. Because like it can be, I don't know, it's not always, not everybody is into like creating such a routine around, saying these things or saying affirmations, but you do need to carve out some time for yourself. I don't know if you can hear my cat screaming at me. Carve out some time for yourself to be able to just take a moment of awareness. But yeah, I like to, like on the fly, I'll be like, okay, like think of something new for this, or I keep saying this and I don't want this anymore. So what would the natural thing be? And honestly, your brain knows how to fix a situation, and it'll probably give you some sort of inspiration right away, whether it's like an actual phrase that will come to mind, or perhaps you'll just feel inspired to go look something up on the internet, and you'll hear someone, talking about something that is perfect for the situation you're in, and you'll be like, this is how I can change it. All you have to do is ask for help. Ask yourself for help. I did a whole video on Florence Scovel talking about casting the burden. And the short version is that she says to cast the burden on the Christ within, the Christ energy within you, the infinite source energy within you. That's something that I've practiced doing. It's been fantastic for me. But when you do end up what I've observed is like you'll be doing really well in your new story, and this is an older video now, but I did a video where I talked about when you're coming into alignment with your new reality, it's almost like two pieces of Velcro, or like you could think of it as like window tinting. I think this is the metaphor I use too. And if you have like gunk and crud still stuck on your window, when you put that window tinting down, it's going to have bubbles. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be nice. And it's going to show you very clearly that there's something there that needs to be removed for you to have, a nice smooth window tint. And so you take the tint back off. I don't know how window tinting works. It's just for the metaphor. You take the window tinting back off. You clean it up. You try again. There's still bubbles. Oh, we do it again. We try and smooth it out. you put a phone protector, lock screen, or what's it called? Phone screen protector on your phone. You got to push out the air bubbles. Oh, maybe you got to take it off and try it again. This is how I visualize coming into alignment with dramatic change in your life. Like when you're trying to make big changes, there's probably a lot under the surface that needs to come up for clearing and purging, and you're going to have to kind of move through those energies. Some people call it, like you get tested by the universe. Some people don't like to say it like that. Like, why would the universe test you? It wants you to have everything you want. I don't think the universe is testing you. I think your higher conscious, or your conscious, wherever, some part of your consciousness is like, but we always do it this way, and you just have to recondition it. You just have to retrain it. It can feel like, oh my God, well, if this keeps being a persistent thought, if this keeps happening, keeps looping, maybe that's just the way it is. No. You can change whatever you believe you can change. You have to keep at it. It can be really difficult, but like persistence truly is the key. I've heard every coach say it. It's true. I don't even like to take that advice sometimes, because sometimes it does feel nice to think, well, maybe I should just give up. Maybe it's just not meant for me. No, it's probably just a lot of work. It might just be a lot of work, but the amazing thing is, like, it's on the other side if you do the work. Anyway, I feel like I'm like going all over the place. So when you're coming into alignment with that thing, when you're putting the window tinting down, the old story coming back up, and little things happening that are unwanted, uncomfortable, undesirable in your life, where you're like, oh, what's happening? Like, I thought things are going so well. That's just the bubble smoothing out. That's just you moving old energies so that you can bring new energies in, and it is brought up for you to look at and be like, are you sure you don't want this anymore? Because there's no judgment on whether or not something is bad or good. It just is. I know it can be like, it, makes us feel different emotions, and we assign negative and positive to it. And that can, be a personal perception. I think there's plenty that we agree on as a whole, like all of humanity can agree on like what feels negative and what feels positive, but in an objective sense, from a universal perspective of just trying to experience, what's it called? Like life, experience, existence. There we go. Guys, I'm tired. Experience existence. It all just is, right? It all just is. And so if you're working through uncomfortable negative things to get to more positive things, it could feel like punishment. It can make you feel really hopeless, right? Like, oh, like, it's so difficult to get out of this. But just know that like you can find the answer. The more you believe in yourself, the more you believe in, what's honestly helped me is studying like the science behind it and understanding that there are laws of the universe, and it's not just some made up thing that one person in like one time kind of came up with some ideas and everyone's like, yeah, that kind of works. Like, I've been studying this a lot, and I said I was going to keep this in a short video, but like you can look into like quantum physics is even starting to really align with a lot of manifestation teachings. It's really, really amazing. But for me, there's that helps me to fall back on that. So that being said, it is okay to be in the story that you no longer want, because from what I'm seeing in my own life, that is the best place to show yourself that, no, we don't do this anymore. We do this differently. I've been having a lot of opportunities. I don't like to call it tests. Like, it's a lot of opportunities to make these new choices and show this change and really embody that change. You have to embody the energy, and it takes time to get to where you want to be. I know it's frustrating for me because I want everything to be instantaneous, not because I'm being selfish, but because I'm scared that I won't ever really get it. And it's scary to put time and effort into something that I don't know if I really deserve, because I'm in a place of feeling like I don't deserve it, and then I watch myself slowly become someone who believes in myself to the extent that I need to have that thing, and it's crazy. it's really a wild ride life, man, right? So I'm gonna wrap this up here, but it's okay. It's okay to feel like, you know, you're back in old things. I feel like that's all this summer has been for me. If you've been following my channel, you know what I've been going through a little bit in life. So many opportunities, as I'm going to call them, for me to literally go back to situations and cycles and patterns of my past that I'm breaking, and actually break them and be like, oh, I can't do this the way I used to anymore. But it's scary. It's scary. Like, it can be intimidating. It can give you anxiety. It can feel, it can feel a lot of ways, because it can take you can kind of lose that perspective, right? And I think it's common that you would lose that perspective if you are being taken down far enough. You know, if there's enough of a distance between the new you and the old you that you're kind of catching up to speed. But I literally feel like it's like you're just like, if there's different versions of you walking along like a nature trail, and maybe it's an obstacle course. It's an obstacle course, and you do all the training and you get to the end quickly. Maybe there's other versions of you that need some help. They're like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to get over this thing. They're struggling to climb the rocks. You know, you got to go back and kind of just be like, look, this is how I learned to do it. And sometimes you just have to keep going back into those old versions of yourself and carrying it into the new energy. It can feel like you're repeating a lot. They say that healing's like a spiral. It's not linear. These are all my thoughts. These are my thoughts. On a personal note, I feel so immersed in my old story for the past, I don't know, like week or so, that it has taken all of my energy and focus to hold the vision of what I want and not crumble while seeing all of the old things pop back up, and, you know, having to re-envision each one of them as the new me. It's taken a lot of energy and a lot of focus. I was having yet another health issue that I haven't been able to put my finger on, and it turned out it was in my air vents, and it got taken care of earlier this week. And so I've been exhausted as my body is finally no longer being exposed to something that was making me really sick. It actually made me like more sick now that my body was like not having to deal with that, and it could just kind of like purge and relax. I was crashing like all week. I spent all weekend trying to get my energy back. I'm feeling much better already. Excited to go into this new week. I know that this summer is gonna be a lot of progression for me personally. So if you're out there like me, I said I was going to keep this video short. Here we are, 18 minutes, whatever. So yeah, if my schedule's a little different, I'm giving myself the grace for that. But if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, I'm still planning on doing like a basics series. I don't know if I said that on here yet. I've been thinking about it in my brain and keeping it to myself maybe. But yeah, I really want to do that. There's a lot of things I want to do, but there's a lot of things I have to do in my life right now, because I am in that phase of cleaning out a lot of air bubbles before I can shift into this new way of life, or this new chapter in life. And it's very exciting, but it's also like, you know, a lot. Life is a lot sometimes. But yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. If you don't have anything to share, drop a little emoji so I know that you're out there alive, doing well, or at least hanging in there. And if there's something you'd like me to specifically elaborate on or talk about, feel free to let me know. I've been linking my Spotify playlists down below. They're like manifestation songs that just help me. The descriptions for them are like all down there. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys are having a great time, and thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.